Hello, vinyl community. Welcome to my channel, ProgHat. I'm Edward, and I'm back with another video. And really, and what do you call it? Excited and glad to be doing this one. Now, this one is inspired by Glen Kellaway from The Basement. Hopefully, I said his channel name right. I will leave a link to his channel. You can go sub him up and watch his videos. But inspired by him, he did a video called 10 Artists for the Rest of Your Life. And I thought about that. It's rough for me because I like prog, rock, jazz, world, classical music, and other types of music that is interesting that is still out there that I have not found out or discovered. So I said, the only way you're going to get through a list is write the numbers 1 through 10 and let it fall into place. So which I did, and these are not in any particular order. When I pulled these records of the artists that if I had to have 10 artists to listen to from here and now on, and I'm even talking about not even buying no more records, these would be the artists that I would listen to, which still is really hard because what's echoing in my mind is, I've told my wife just real quick here that I know there's going to come a point to where I'm going to just stop buying records. And she had a look of shock on her face and she was like, yeah, are we almost there? And then the other thing was, that is really hard for you to do. You like so much music, you enjoy music, and you've been collecting music for a long time. And I appreciate her I really appreciate her love and support. She knows that I know a lot about music, and maybe I don't present enough of that in my videos. I don't know. I guess if I'm like other folks, I won't go into certain behaviors. Maybe, who knows, I would have a huge channel. But that's not why I do this. It's because I enjoy sharing music. Music has been my journey ever since the beginning. I fell in love with music. And sometimes I go full circle with things. Sometimes I get back into rock or prog through a lot of classical music. Sometimes I go periods with just listening to classical music for a long time, and then I'm back into, yes, Van Halen, Black Sabbath, John Coltrane. So it's kind of like a circle to me. That's the way I look at it. Okay, let's get into this list. These are not in any order. Van Halen would be one, and I'm talking about both periods too. David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar, I really don't need the live albums. They would just be extra. Would be really cool. But yeah, Van Halen, I would definitely continue, and I still listen to them. Next, the Boys from Down Under, as they're referred to, I think still, AC/DC. I don't have to have the live stuff, but with both singers, Bon Scott and Brian Johnson. Sorry about the way this looks. I didn't take a lot of these records out of their package or plastic. Texas' very own. I gotta have my ZZ Top. Love ZZ Top. My wife met Billy Gibbons, and she has a photo that she took with him. He's a very nice guy, very great guitar player. One of the best from Texas. Next would be Phil Keaggy. Keaggy. Keagggy. Now, Phil Keaggy has been doing music, and he's still doing music. I would have to have his catalog. Now, he was in a band way early in the 60s called Glass Harp, H-A-R-P. And they made 3 records. But he took a different direction in his life and became a Christian. and released all these albums that are getting really hard to find. Like I have a couple of copies of this, and someone saw Phil Keaggy, a friend from a long time ago, and met him after the concert and did a nice thing and got him to autograph one of my CDs. Next, the music of Neil Young. Especially got to have this album. This is one of my favorite Neil Young albums. I love every song on this album. It's dark. It's got some rocking tunes like The Loner. I just love everything about it. The Last Trip to Tulsa is my favorite. But I can do without the Neil Young live albums and just have the main catalog. And Journey in the Past is an album that I'm looking for in vinyl. I just thought about that again. Gotta have my favorite band of all time, The Who. I don't necessarily need live albums, but just to have the Who album collection, yes, I gotta have it. Even the newer Who albums. Next, King Crimson. I don't have to have all their live albums, which they've made a lot, but I would just love to have the core of their collection, even the Adrian Blue period. But yeah, I need to get some of these kind of sleeves. These sleeves are really cool. They're like made for gatefold sleeves. I need to get some of these. If anybody has any set for sale in the vinyl community, want to sell me at least 10 of them, I'd be grateful. Jazz. Yes, and that was really hard. But my two essential artists that I got into jazz, well, actually three, was Ornette Coleman, Miles Davis, and John Coltrane. I would have to have the John Coltrane collection. Don't necessarily need to have all those and Vanguard type albums, but at least all the way up to at least Love Supreme and the Atlantic recordings, all the records she did with Atlantic. Yeah, gotta have that. And especially this album was the big one into the big, what do you call it, rabbit hole that got me into more John Coltrane. Was this album. Hearing it one night while I was working at a back then was a CD music store. We had some vinyl we sold, but yeah, some guy was playing this and I just simply fell in love with this album, and I'm still love the music off that album. Next, hopefully some folks may have heard of this artist, but I would have to have his catalog for the ambient, the space, the songs that have beginning and you don't know if they end or they shouldn't end because the music draws me into it. But I would have to have the music of the catalog of Klaus Schultze from Tangerine Dream, especially this album. Yeah, would want the catalog. I could listen to him for forever. Now next, I love this band. Still do to this day, and that would be the Moody Blues. I would have to have don't need to have their live albums, but pretty much their entire discography. These albums of the Moody Blues are just essential. I know I've seen people, whenever I say that on streams, people say boring or whatever. Not to me. That's just an opinion, and you know what people say about opinions, okay? I'm a big fan of the Moody Blues. Love the band. Nights in White Satin, one of the best rock songs ever. Well, I had really a great time doing it. 10 artists for the rest of my life would be those 10. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what I do or you like this video, hit the thumbs up for me. That'd be great. If you'd like to leave a comment, that would be totally awesome. I like reading the comments that I get. I appreciate everyone out there. I'll be back with another video. I'm so sure of that. I enjoy doing this. I love talking about music. I love pulling out something and going, hey, I feel like talking about that. But anyway, go over and sub up Glen Kellaway. Great guy, great musician, very, Very nice music collection he has. And he has a lot of great Dylan records. Anyway, folks, take care and have a great weekend.